But, you know, at that point we didn't know that roots were limited at this 30 to 40 with this clay. But, you know, you can see it doesn't matter how far you go. You know, if you dug this profile and you didn't have a vineyard in here, you might think this is a high vigor site. And you would go, well, we're not going to rip this very much because it's a high vigor site. It's a nice deep clay, you know, nice colour, nice drainage. There is a bit of yellow mottling at about here, about 70 centimetres in yellow mottling. So, but you can also see this black organic matter all scattered all through here as well. So yeah, again, it's limited by, at this light clay, about 40 centimetres. The majority of the roots sit between 10 and 40 centimetres. Again, there's wheel traffic compaction. There's very few roots going into the mid-row. So we rated this one pretty high, I think, with, yeah, reasonably high with root density and volume. I think probably the volume we may have underestimated. There's some pretty chunky roots here. So the volume we've probably underestimated. That's why it sits as a bit of an outlier on the bottom chart. So root density by volume by total available water, it's sort of moderate but really high yield. So I think we probably underestimated the volume, you know, with these big roots. So, but again, like we see them here, but we don't see them in here. So they may be coming out and doing right angles as well before we chop them off. The reason we chop them off is because if you've got long roots, it kind of obscures your visual perception of how many roots there are. So we chop them off at about a fairly consistent sort of length. Yeah. So similar again. Yeah, certainly you might expect to see roots down here, and maybe directly under here there are, but you know, the majority of the roots doing the work are above 40 centimetres. And I'll hit this. So yeah, again, hard. No roots in this zone. Another root right on the edge here, but certainly none in the wheel track. Another one there. So yeah, similar again, the same crust. The crust did vary a bit according to how much grass was here, but still there's a good 10 centimetre crust here. Yeah. So yeah, 11.8 tonnes per hectare and high-ish with root density and root volume. Nick. 5489 and Peter.
The list of most widely planted was 3 rootstocks around the
Yeah.
Grass in the trials that we've had at Padthaway. It's probably the rootstock that matches own roots 101-14 performance out of all of them. It always has better fruit composition than most other rootstocks.
Yeah, right.
That's associated with low pH and low K generally. And that's just shown up in stuff I've analysed from Padthaway.
Yep.
Over about 8 years, 9 years.
Yeah. With the relatively limited commercial experience we have with this rootstock, this is pretty indicative of what you'd expect. Maybe the yield's probably on the slightly higher side.
It's a little bit more vigor compared to Ramsey that I would have thought.
More vigor compared to Ramsey, yeah. But in terms of compared to say Paulson and Regeri, that they're higher, and this is sort of moderate.
Yeah.
This is kind of where you'd expect. It's just probably, you know, probably got a 2 or 3 tonnes per hectare more on there than you probably want, but or more. Well, according to the data anyway. Yeah.
And the biggest issue with this is not in the vineyard, it's in the nursery, isn't it, Mark?
Mm-hmm. Very difficult to propagate.
Another challenging one, yeah.
One thing about it is it does shoot late, like the bud burst is generally later in this stock than anything else that I've sort of seen. And the other thing is, you can look at the canopy, there's very little leaf senescence as well.
Yeah.
So that's, because it is a late shooting, it tends to, well, probably the fruits generally pick a little bit later as well, and the quality of the canopy is very good this time of year. So
whereas if you compare it in 101-14, it bursts early. This one will burst late and actually matures a little bit later too, generally.